Very good, thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Town of Lexington Council meeting. This meeting is being held at Town Hall Monday evening, August 15, 2022. Recording of this meeting will be available on the Town of Lexington Cable Information Channel 1301 and on the town's YouTube channel. I'm Steve McDougall, the mayor of the Town of Lexington. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you my fellow council members. To my left is Council Member Todd Carnes.
Good evening.
To my right is Council Member Kathy Maness.
Good evening.
To her right is Council Member Ron Williams.
Good evening.
To his right is Council Member Todd Lyle.
Good evening.
Council Member Baker is absent tonight. He is out of town. And Mayor Pro Tem Hazel Livingston is not feeling well, so she decided to stay home tonight. Ma'am, we're glad she stayed home tonight. Yeah, so she did the right thing. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilmember Ron Williams if he would give tonight's opening invocation for the meeting.
Let's pray. Lord, we come to you and thank you for this awesome day, this awesome weather we were able to have today. We ask you to watch over our children and parents, bus drivers, as the kids head back to school tomorrow. Lord, help us all have a great day tomorrow. Thank you for all that you've done for us. Help us make some wise decisions tonight as we try to do the town's work. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Williams. At this time, I'd like to welcome Lexington County veteran, U.S. Army retired Sergeant First Class Rich Little. Rich, if you would, please join us at the microphone. If everyone would please stand, remove your hats, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Little, thank you very much for being with us again. Some people may be tuning in that have not heard your story. We'd like to hear your story and hear a little bit about Rich Little tonight.
Okay, well, I'm a New Yorker that got smart and moved to South Carolina. But being here for 37 years, just about a mile from here. Great place to live, great place to raise kids, and I did that with 5 of them. But anyway, I spent 22 years in the military service. The first 3 years were in the Marine Corps. I got smart again and got out of there and joined the Army. So anyway, during my time in the Marine Corps, the only reason I got out of the Marine Corps was because I got locked into a job that I didn't like, and they wouldn't let me out of it. But I did learn that I liked the military way of life, and so 3 months later, I joined the Army. They were good to me. They sent me to school twice, one time to learn the Polish language, a second time to learn the Russian language. And I spent the next 19 years in that oxymoron military intelligence. And what I was in is communications intelligence. And what we basically did is we listened in on the other guy. In fact, we had an official motto and an unofficial motto. The official motto was Semper Vigilis, which means always vigilant. The unofficial motto was, we trust in God, everyone else we monitor. But anyway, I rose to the rank of Sergeant First Class. I went through the entire wartime Vietnam War without going to Vietnam. And that was primarily because they didn't have much use for a Polish linguist in Vietnam. But anyway, I got out after 22 years, settled in Texas. There I met this little redhead, 5'2", personality plus, and she dragged me to South Carolina. I wasn't too happy about that at the time, but she grew on me, and South Carolina grew on me even more. And since I've been here, let me see, going back to 1992, I opened a business called Tutor Connection. Spent 17 years and didn't retire until I was 75. That's 11 years ago. And what I did is I hired students from all of the colleges around town and sent those tutors into homes throughout the Columbia metro area. And that, in a nutshell, is my life. Now I'm retired and I'm happy. And receiving most of the benefits of being a grandfather. And very happy at the age of 86 to be like this rather than like that. That's pretty much me. Any questions?
Very good. Mr. Little, thank you so much. Any questions? Sergeant First Class, thank you very much for your service. Thank you for being a part of our community.
I'll see you again in a couple months.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. Thank you. At this time, I will call the meeting to order and like to ask if there are any deletions on the agenda. Anyone have anything they'd like to remove off the agenda? Very good. We'll move right into presentations. Our first presentation this evening, I want to welcome Kimberly Cockrell from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. If you would, please come forward. Good evening, Kimberly.
So much. I'm going to sit this right here before I hand it off to him.
Sure.
So my name is Kimberly Cockrell. I'm the Victim Services Manager for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Normally when I see officers, it's in situations that are not positive. So tonight it's really an honor and privilege for me to stand here before all of you and to present someone that I not only consider a colleague but a friend, a dear friend, a very well-earned award. This is the first year that we have done our Madi Awards, which was a kickoff of the Madi Awards. We were trying to figure out something cute, so we came up with Madi. We just had our first law enforcement recognition dinner a couple of weeks ago, and Sean was there as well as several other officers from this division. I wanted to read because I believe that, I'm not sure who submitted this, but it is so eloquently written, and it really sums up his hard work. So before I say anything else, I would like to read Sean's nomination for this award, which he won the DUI Enforcer of the Year, the local agency. PFC Sean Ludwig has been assigned to the as a traffic officer since November 1st, 2017. Since that time, he has fully immersed himself in the belief that he can make a difference towards making the roadways of this state safer through aggressive traffic enforcement. During 2021, a year that roadway traffic significantly increased from the previous year, Sean recorded 1,124 citations, 257 South Carolina public contact/warnings. Of those 1,124 citations, 63 were for arrest of driving under the influence. Officer Ludwig has also participated in major collision reconstruction investigations, traffic speed studies, DUI saturation events, and public safety checkpoints throughout the year. PFC Ludwig has continued to assist in prevention of alcohol and drug abuse as he is a member of the Alcohol Enforcement Team, the AET, focusing on discouraging the sale and purchase of alcohol and tobacco to minors. Sean has also worked on several initiatives aimed at reducing impaired driving by participating in local bar establishments that sell alcohol through the Be a Designated Driver, A Friend for Life, and Operation Safe Tow. Both encourage the use of sober designated drivers or alternative safe ways to get home. The Lexington Police Department has had an increase in DUI cases from 109 in 2020 to 205 in 2021, which means this is an 88% increase in DUI arrests. PFC Ludwig's 63 DUI arrests were the highest number in the department this year, which was instrumental in being zero DUI related, which was instrumental in being zero DUI related fatalities in the town of Lexington this year. PFC Ludwig's body of work distinguishes himself among his peers and brings great credit to the Lexington Police Department, town of Lexington, and the law enforcement profession. And pardon me while I stumbled all over that. I am in awe of the things that our police officers have to see. I am not on scenes of these crashes. I see them afterwards in mate photos, and some of these things are the things that nightmares are made of. the unbelievable heart and dignity that it takes these officers to walk up on these crashes and deal with the aftermath and deal with the victims is something that I am in awe of, and I wish that I had the ability to do something along those lines, and I can't. So I am, at that point, honored to stand beside and behind them as we continue to serve victims of DUI in this county and in this town. Sean is an amazing human being. Aside from a great officer, he's a great husband and a great father. And I am honored to award him the 2021 DUI Enforcer of the Year award. So, Sean.
And Sean, if you think you're getting out of here by just saying thank you,
Yeah, I stumbled all over, so your turn.
we're so proud of you. We just want to hear it out of your words.
Well, I appreciate everything town council does to support us and the police department, and the chief as far as supporting our division as far as the traffic unit, and the community for allowing us to come out and enforce the roadways and keep things safe, and just but I appreciate everybody's backing and supporting for everything that we do.
Absolutely. People like you, we're glad to support you. Our hats are off to you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to thank Kimberly for, don't leave yet, for everything she does for the state of South Carolina. I appreciate you, and I know it's hard when families are facing that, and I know a little bit about your story as to why you got into this. One of your best friends, that's right, was killed by a drunk driver when y'all were in college, and so I just appreciate your heart for the families, and I hope one day we don't ever have any more of this, that people, if they're going to drink, that's great and fine, but just don't get on the road. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good night. For our next presentation this evening, I want to welcome Jordan Lawrence from the Lexington Chronicle. Jordan, if you would, please come forward.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Mayor, members of council. In July, the Chronicle announced the winners of Our County's Best, our inaugural readers' poll allowing the public to weigh in on various aspects of what make the communities in this county special. The categories ranged from restaurants to public officials to local businesses to the best ways to enjoy Lake Murray. After we solicited nominees from the public, we opened it up to an online vote. All told, 17,910 people cast 52,403 votes, crowning 355 winners, including Town of Lexington Police Officer Jen Klenzik. Klenzik is clearly well loved by teachers, parents, and students at New Providence Elementary School, where she serves as school resource officer. Though that school had an enrollment of just 771 as of the most recent student hit count, Klenzik was the overwhelming choice for our county's best law enforcement officer, garnering more than 5 times the votes of any of the other 4 nominees, all of which were police chiefs in the county. When her school posted the news to Facebook, 124 people liked or loved the post, with people leaving comments littered with descriptors like awesome, well-deserved, and the absolute best. When asked by her department last year what she liked best about being an SRO, Klenzik said, "I love to interact with the students and getting to be part of their daily schedule by reading to them, teaching basic safety tips, and helping to get them safely into school in the mornings and back home at the end of the day," which is pretty much what it's all about. On behalf of the Chronicle, it is my pleasure to congratulate the Lexington Police Department, Lexington County School District 1, New Providence Elementary, and most importantly, Officer Klenzik for being named our county's best.
Yay.
obviously the Lexington Chronicle, the community for their support. It is amazing what we have here in Lexington every year. It just amazes me more. And if I can say, if Ms. Koppel, who nominated me, great person with the Lexington Sailing Club and our Columbia Sailing Club, and she was great with the family too. But just thank you very much for that, for actually having this voting, and just support is really good.
Jim, thank you very much for what you do. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Congratulations. Let's get a picture with y'all.
So Jordan, who were the police chiefs? Did she beat Chief Green? Or did he not even make it? Chief, I'm sure you were second.
Very good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being with us, Jordan.
And I just want to say, if you aren't getting the Chronicle now, y'all need to get them. Jordan, you're doing a really good job. So thank you for what you're doing with the newspaper.
Very good. Our next presentation this evening, I want to welcome Ernest Hill from the 40 and 8. Mr. Hill, if you would, please come forward. We have a presentation tonight from the 40 and 8. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And good evening to all, so that way I won't miss anyone in their respective places. My name is Ernest Hill, as was said. I represent the 40 and 8 of South Carolina. I'm the Grand Director of Trophies and Awards. 40 and 8, simply put, we go back to World War I, when we had the doughboys and we fought in France. There was never enough medics for them, so we helped with nurses training. We go all over. We in all 50 states, Germany, Latin America, and of course France. So 40 and 8 basically started off in like 1920, and we used to be a part of the American Legion, but we spin off from that, and we are on now. And simply put, we're a fun organization, and the 40 and 8 comes from during World War I. The car boxes that they haul the soldiers in could only hold 40 soldiers or 8 horses. That's where the 40 and 8 comes from.
Okay.
After the war was over, every state and territory got a boxcar. There used to be a boxcar up in this area here, but now it's in a museum in Bishopville, South Carolina. If you get a chance to look at that, it tells the whole story. But not to further ado, what I'm here for this evening is for victim advocate Cockrell. And I'd first like to give thanks to Director Schindler of the Criminal Justice Academy and Major McCants at the Criminal Justice Academy. Every year we give out an award for Officer of the Year, Hero of the Year, and City of the Year. And I go across the state and we pick an individual that we believe that exudes what we are about, and that is giving credit to those who serve. All of us in the 40 and 8 are military at some point. But with that being said, your victim advocate Cochran, she exudes what I call Hotel Charlie Charlie. That is honor, courage, and commitment. It's an honor to always to serve the people, but it's commitment to do your job the way it's supposed to be done. It takes courage to do it when no one else will doing the right is doing wrong. You ought to step up and do it right. And as a victim advocate, I'm pretty sure all of you know what her role is. But it's not about your role, it's how you do your role. Are you reflecting you doing the courage to do the right thing, making sure the citizens who are victims of a crime, they know the process, what's going on. And with her write-up that was given to us, it shows that she's one of those individuals who has the commitment to do the job correctly and efficiently, and the courage to make sure that the victims are aware of what the whole process, because we know the legal process can go around and around. But when you have a person that is giving them the correct information, making sure that they, the victim, knows what's going on, it makes the journey a little easier for the victim. Not to prolong this, victim advocate. This award that we give out every year for UI Law Enforcement of the Year award shows that we, as a committee, have sat down and looked over your write-up and checked around to make sure you are what we're looking for. And you are what we're looking for, a dedicated servant. In these days and times, it's hard to find sometimes a dedicated servant. And you showed us that you are a dedicated servant, and it's our honor and my pleasure to present you to be South Carolina Law Enforcement of the Year for 2020.
Well, since you brought it up.
We look forward to you being back next year.
We'll see you next year. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thanks, sir.
Dee Cochran, congratulations again on another wonderful award. You're just racking them up, and you are certainly deserving of them through your career as well. Chief, I can't tell you how proud we are of your department and all your members of your department. Congratulations. That does come from the top, so great job. Thank you, everyone. At this time, we'll move into a vision plan update for August 2022. You probably noticed the first phase of the wayfinding signs that have gone up in the downtown area. The remainder of the signs for this corridor are set to arrive in the next few days. The signage is designed to point people to destinations that are popular within the town limits, and also to one of the 1,000 parking places that are downtown that are open to the public. Also, construction and mobilization has begun for renovation and expansion of the Virginia Hilton Park. An official groundbreaking ceremony will be held next week for the project. At first, only a portion of the park will be closed off, but eventually it will be shut down completely. For a look at other town parks you can enjoy during this project, please visit lexsc.com. These are just some of the projects we are currently working on in the town of Lexington as part of the town's vision plan, which you can also find at lexsc.com. At this time, we will have a traffic update from Mr. Ron Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With the start of school tomorrow, traffic around town will be more congested. Please plan accordingly for getting to your destination, and please be alert for the students and the buses. Road widening and lane improvements along Old Cherokee Road are now complete, which includes a new traffic signal at the entrance to Lakeside Middle School. Additionally, a left turn phase was added at the intersection of North Lake Drive and Old Cherokee. Please use caution around town as the drivers adapt to the new traffic and the new changes in patterns as we move forward. The next traffic committee meeting is scheduled for September 14th, 2022 at 8 a.m. Please call 803-358-7273 to report any traffic signal issues, unsafe roadway conditions, or a pothole that might need repair.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Sir.
At this time, we'll move into public hearings. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. Our first item this evening is final reading of an ordinance rezoning Lexington County Tax Map number 4324-04-002, located at 111 School Drive, from limited commercial to protected residential. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, item number 2, this is final reading of an ordinance adopting the pending ordinance doctrine. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, item number 3, final reading of an ordinance entering into a mutual aid agreement with the KC Police Department and the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, item number 4, final reading of an ordinance to sell property near Taboo Drive. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, item number 5, final reading of an ordinance amending section 155.03.07 of the zoning ordinance required setbacks. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Yes, ma'am. If you would, please come forward. State your name and address for the record, please. How are you?
Good
Good.
evening. My name is Mackenzie Wagner. I am the Director of Governmental Affairs for the Building Industry Association, and I also live at 114 Kaufman Road. It was brought to our attention this week that this ordinance was being addressed. As we flipped through the documents that were attached, we were unable to find any of the information from the first and second reading for this ordinance. We found lots of documents that referenced that there was a discussion, and it would say that there was a draft attached. However, we were unable to find it, and even when I came today, this afternoon, and asked some of these lovely people for their copies of this information, it still wasn't attached. And as I look at this, item number 5 on the final reading also does not reflect item number 5 on old business. It seems like there's a lack of organization with these, and we ask that the final reading be postponed to allow the council to properly publish this, so that way the public can comment in such a way that is meaningful and intended through this type of hearing.
Well, you're dead on. We have postponed it, but I'll let the administrator let you know.
Yes, this item was scheduled for a public reading in such a way that we couldn't remove the public hearing, but the item has been moved to the next work session in September.
What reading is that?
It's not a reading at all. It's just a work session for council to discuss it, and then whatever comes out of that, it can be put back on for final reading in October would be the earliest it could have its final reading.
Great. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you being with us. At this time, we'll hear the last item. This is final reading of an ordinance amending section 159.03.02 and 159.07.03 of the zoning ordinance commercial center signs. Anyone here wish to speak to that? Hearing none, that concludes our public hearings for this evening. This time we'll move right into old business. Our first item of old business is final reading of an ordinance rezoning Lexington County Tax Map number 4324-04-002, located at 111 School Drive, from limited commercial to protected residential. Councilmember Kathy Manis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Mr. Gary Page submitted a request to rezone .58 acres located at 111 School Drive from limited commercial to protected residential. The property is currently undeveloped. Properties adjacent to this one are zoned limited commercial and protected residential. The Planning Commission reviewed this request during their June meeting and recommended approval of the rezoning. I make a motion for final reading approval.
Ms. Manis makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Carnes seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Todd Carnes. This is final reading of an ordinance adopting the pending ordinance doctrine. Councilmember Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Staff is asking Town Council to consider formally adopting the pending ordinance doctrine as allowed by the South Carolina Supreme Court. The town has been using the doctrine in practice, but formal adoption is requested. The doctrine allows the town to deny a building permit or other zoning or development proposal when such a proposal contradicts a pending or later enacted zoning ordinance. The ordinance is attached. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for final reading of an ordinance adopting the pending ordinance doctrine.
Councilmember Carnes makes a motion. Is there a second? Second. Councilmember Lyle seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Ron Williams. This is final reading of an ordinance entering into a mutual aid agreement with the KC Police Department and the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Lexington Police Department is entering into a mutual aid agreement with the KC Police Department. Also, the Lexington Police Department is requesting the removal of the KC Department of Public Safety from the LPD mutual aid agreement with multiple jurisdictions list. The proposed agreement for the KC Police Department is attached. The Police Department has received a request for a mutual aid agreement with Greenville County's office. That proposed agreement is attached as well. Make a motion for final reading, entering into a mutual aid agreement with KC Police Department and the Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
Councilmember Williams makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Manus seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Todd Lyle. This is final reading of an ordinance to sell property near Taboo Drive. Councilmember Lyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 29 Acre Wood LLC is requesting to buy town property off of Taboo Drive. The parcel is identified by tax map number 4330-02-012. It contains approximately 2.84 acres and is comprised of wetlands. The potential sale would include a reverter clause wherein the buyer is required to leave the property in its natural state. A violation of that clause would cause the title to revert back to the town of Lexington. 29 Acre Wood LLC is the adjoining property owner. Mr. Mayor, I would make a request for final reading approval of an ordinance to sell property as described above.
Thank you, Mr. Lyle. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Williams seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Todd Carnes. This is final reading of an ordinance amending section 159.03.02, 159.07.03 of the zoning ordinance commercial center signs. Councilmember Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Council discussed amendments to the signed ordinance during the April work session. First reading of the attached ordinance occurred during the June meeting. The Planning Commission reviewed this ordinance during their July meeting and recommended the following amendments to the proposal. Number 1, amend section 1 to limit the size of a wall sign that does not need a permit to no more than 2 square feet instead of the proposed 4 square feet. Number 2, delete section 2 entirely. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for final reading approval.
Councilmember Carnes makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Manus seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of old business is from Councilmember Kathy Manus. This is final reading of an ordinance annexing a portion of the Lexington County Tax Map number 004496-02-096 located in the 2700 block of Mineral Springs Road. Councilmember Manus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. P4SC Holdings Incorporated owns 4.3 acres in the 2700 block of Mineral Springs Road and has petitioned to annex a portion of the property. The property is currently undeveloped, but the owner plans to subdivide it into single-family lots. Properties in town near this one are zoned Protected Residential 2, and Mineral Springs Road is classified as a collector road. The Planning Commission reviewed this annexation during their March meeting and recommended protected residential zoning for the property and collector road classification for Mineral Springs Road. The item was tabled during the May council meeting. I make a motion for final reading approval to annex the property.
Ms. Manus makes a motion. Is there a second? Hearing no second, that motion fails.
Could I make a point?
Yes, sir, Mr. Poole.
This is just a portion of the property from the north of the power lines. So this is not the entirety of the property that this council saw before. I encourage you to look at the last page of your packet for the section that's being annexed.
Why is he only bringing a portion?
He was requested to do that.
The little portion that's right here?
That's already changed hands, so even though we have an annexation petition for it, we will have to annex it when they, connect to water or sewer, because they no longer have the authority to annex it.
That little piece is the piece, I thought we tried to annex already.
No, it was the entire unit before.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I thought we had a piece that was broken off that we tried to annex.
No, it was just the whole thing. So this is just the portion shown in red that's the north of the power lines. That's all that's being in front of council.
Very good. Any
That's
other
what was
questions?
a- I'm sorry.
Yes, Ms. Manus.
And was that what was asked of the owner when it came to council before?
Yes, ma'am.
And so the council asked the owner to do that, and now he's brought that back as to what we asked.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not how I recall that. We asked the owner to do this?
Mr. Lyle, you may not have been in that meeting, but there was a council meeting where that was discussed. There was some concern about the road and the turn there, so that portion has been eliminated completely. It's not in front of you.
Very good. Any other questions? Ms. Manus?
I think I might want to rescind my action that I asked for and return this to work session.
Ms. Manus makes a motion to return this item to work session. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Williams seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Send this back to work session. I'm sorry, Todd Lyle did not vote.
Well, I'd be happy to vote
Vote in the nay.
in the nay.
Mr. Lyle votes nay. Very good. We'll move right into new business. Our first item of new business is from Councilmember Todd Carnes. This is first reading of an ordinance to increase the towing rotation fee. Mr. Carnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the July work session, Town Council discussed raising the fee rates for a tow in the police department's towing rotation. The current rate is $160. An increase would align the fee with what other government entities charge. For example, Lexington County charges $190. Raising a towing fee requires the passage of an ordinance. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for first reading of an ordinance to increase the towing rotation fee, but I'm not sure that we had total consensus on that fee. Does anybody remember us having consensus on that fee? So I make a motion to raise the towing fee to $190.
Very good. Was that?
I'll second.
Mr. Williams seconds that motion. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. Mr. Lyle.
just for clarification, there's a sheet following that's got something for state, county, city vehicles, and then storage of $25 a day. Is that? So this motion is only to address the traffic and parking violation.
If I could respond?
Yes, sir. Mr. Poole.
That was my understanding, that
Okay.
council just wanted to address the, traffic parking violation, public towing fee, and then the other fees would remain the same. You certainly have latitude to do whatever you wish, but that was my understanding.
Anyone else? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Our next item of new business is from Councilmember Ron Williams. This is a resolution authorizing general obligation bans and bonds. Councilmember Williams.
Town's general obligation bans of 2021 that total $7.54 million mature on September 1st, 2022. Town council will need to adopt a resolution providing for the terms of issuance of the refunding bans or bonds. the resolution authorizing the refunding general obligations bans of 2022.
Mr. Williams makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second him.
Ms. Manis seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. That concludes our business. Next, we will hear announcements from Councilmember Todd Lyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to again first congratulate all of the fine police officers who were recognized tonight. We appreciate all that they continue to do for us and make the town as great as it is. Don't forget the market at Ice House. There's only 6 weeks left. Again, that's on a Saturday. Come out and enjoy the food, music, food trucks, and support your local vendors. Again, this is every Saturday between now and September 24th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Ice House Pavilion. The amphitheater, the Ice House Amphitheater, continues to host many great concerts and events. This Friday, it's the Let's Get Loud Battle of the Bands, supporting the Fisher House of Columbia, who assist veterans with their needs while visiting Dorn VA Hospital. Gates open at 5:30, tickets are $12. This Saturday, the town of Lexington brings back For the Love of Hops Craft Beer Festival. This event is for 21 years old and up, so please bring your IDs. Tickets this week are $40 or $45 on Saturday, day of. Your ticket includes unlimited samples, over 50 different craft beers, live music, and a souvenir sampling glass. Food will be available for purchase. Gates open at 6 p.m. On Thursday, August 25th, the Taylor Engel charity concert starts at 5 o'clock and goes until 10 o'clock at the amphitheater. An evening of great music will benefit Lisa's Care Connection and the Joy Day program. It will also include a silent auction and wine pool under the Ice House Pavilion. Tickets are $30 and kids under 12 are free. Friday, August 26th, the town will host a free concert with Cottle Creek Grass. That fun starts at 7 o'clock. In September, we've all been waiting for it. The town's Lexington Live Free Thursdays concert fall kicks back up with 7 weeks. These shows start at 6:30. Our downtown venue promoter, Walker Brewer, has done it again, booking some really great shows. We always hear such positive comments from you citizens and visitors about this event. Going through the list, you can also see this at icehouseamphitheater.com for all the details. But to quickly go through it, September 1st is the Mighty Kicks. September 8th, the Embers. September 15th, Under the Sun. September 22nd, the Hitmen. September 29th, Band of Oz. October 6th, the Tams. October 13th, the Root Doctors. And as a public service announcement, please take a minute to view the town's newest video titled Parking in the Town of Lexington. It shows the available parking for these events. It's more than you think. There are actually 940 spots in the public parking lots close to the amphitheater. It's a pretty cool video with some great drone shots, thanks to our very own GIS analyst Woody Evans and the digital media coordinator Michael Tolbert. Thanks, guys. You can watch it on the town's YouTube channel, the town's website, or the town's Facebook page. Very exciting news and a project that's been in the works for some time, but next week on Tuesday, August the 23rd at 10 o'clock, the town will hold the official groundbreaking ceremony at the famous Virginia Hilton Park. Mayor Pro Tem Livingston has put a lot of her personal time into this renovation, so we do wish her a speedy recovery by next Thursday. I know she will not want to miss that. We have several town meetings lined up for September and one cancellation for August. Planning Commission will not meet this week as was previously regularly scheduled. Board of Zoning Appeals will meet September 1st at 5:30 here in the council chambers. Town Hall will be closed Monday, September 5th in observance of Labor Day. Council will meet here again on Tuesday, September 6th for the regular council meeting as we return to our regular schedule of not combining the work session and the council meeting. Traffic Committee will meet on September 14th at 8 o'clock in the third floor conference room. Council's work session will be held on September 19th at 6 p.m. here in the Municipal Complex Conference Center. Planning Commission will meet in September on Wednesday, the 21st, here in the council chambers. Tomorrow is a big day. Isn't that right, Kathy?
It is.
School starts back tomorrow at all Lexington District 1 schools. We ask that citizens drive carefully in school zones and beyond as young students ride and walk to school. We wish these students to be successful, healthy, and have a fun year as they return to the classroom. On behalf of the mayor and the fellow council members, we would like to thank you for tuning in tonight to the council meeting.
Very good, Mr. Lyle. Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Very good. Hearing none. Any questions from the news media tonight? Thank you for being with us.
groundbreaking? Yeah, next Tuesday. 10 o'clock.
Next Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we'll have the groundbreaking.
August 23rd.
Nope. It's not, it's so off base. These are the towing fees for when we have accidents in town and the police have to call a tow service. Those fees went up. Well, because of the increase in gas prices and there was a strain on we only have a certain number of tow services in town. We want them to respond quickly, and they were having some issues with trying to keep up because our prices are lower than everyone else. So we decided to raise our prices. So our police department, and Chief would probably be better explain this, but our police department actually joins with other police departments around the state in case we have a catastrophic event. We can bring those officers in from out of town. They still have the same powers that they would in their jurisdiction, but they have authorization in our jurisdiction. All right. Yes. Yes, would you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from? Okay, and you're with WLTX. Very good. We just want to have that for the record. Very good. Any public comments regarding tonight's agenda? Anyone here want to speak on the agenda? Very good. That concludes our business for this evening. Thank you for watching the Town of Lexington Council meeting. This meeting was held at Town Hall on Monday evening, August 15th, 2022. A recording of this meeting will be aired on the town's information cable channel 1301 several times during the week, and a video will be available on the town's YouTube channel. Without objection, we are adjourned.